Hello, today's lesson is on topic 1.14, solving mixed application problems. So these are problems that could be adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. So in these problems, we're going to be looking for indicator words. So some words that can help us to know what operation to use. So words like total or in all can be either adding or multiplying. How much remains could be subtraction, and the concept of division, dividing something into equal parts or pieces. So sometimes we have indicator words in these problems and sometimes we don't. So we need to know both the story and the types of words to look for. And mostly today we're going to just be solving the application problems one by one and making our decisions and setting up our equations. This lesson does not have a do together section, so I thought that we could do 3 of the word problems together, and we're going to be writing our answers in sentence form. So we're going to be setting it up step by step in a way that allows us to get maximum points when we are submitting our work, and also to show ourselves the equation, our work, and a final answer. So number 2, Mary has volunteered to bake desserts for her school bake sale. She baked a dozen or 12 brownies and will sell them for $2 each. She also baked 2 dozen cupcakes and plans to sell them for $3 each. How much money will Mary raise if she sells all of her baked goods? So we have a number of things going on in this problem, but we get the idea that she's going to have this concept of repeated addition, right? Because she's baking 12, every single one of them is the same price, and then she's baking 2 dozen, which is 24 cupcakes, selling them all for $3. So what we're going to do is set up an expression that allows us to show our plan. So we're going to take those dozen brownies, and because each and every one of those is $2, we're going to be multiplying by 2. So that's for our brownies. And I'm going to put brackets around because I'm going to be adding that answer to the cupcakes. But the cupcakes are a different price, and there's 2 dozen of them. So there's 24 of them, and they are $3 each. So what I've done here is I've set up an expression that allows me to show my plan in a systematic way. And this is often the area that we need the most practice with. We're going to get an answer, we don't know what it is, so we're going to do the math, and then we'll be able to determine what our answer is in dollars. So the first off is 12 times 2, which is 24. So 24 plus, and then we need to do our other set of brackets, 24 times 3 for those cupcakes. 3 times 4 is 12, and I carry my 1, and 3 times 2 is 6, and 1 more is 7, so that's 72. So we're going to be getting an answer in dollars, and we're going to do that work. 24 plus 72, 4 plus 2 is 6, and 2 plus 7 is 9. So we're going to get $96. So now we're going to write the answer in a short, complete sentence. How much money will Mary raise if she sells all her baked goods? We don't have to have the entire thing written down. We can say that Mary will raise $96. For question number 4, a group of 6 foreign language students plans a summer trip to Germany. The total cost of all 6 flights is $8,400. Each person will also pay $600 for the hotel. If all 6 students pay the same amount for the flight, what is the cost of the entire trip for each student, including the cost of the hotel? Okay, well, we know the total for the flights, and we know that there's a total of 6 students. And we also know that each person is going to pay $600 for the hotel. So our first order of business is to divide up the flights to figure out what each person is going to pay for their own flight. So we're going to take the 8,400 and we're going to divide by 6. But that's not all we're going to do. We're going to do a second step. Once we know how much money they pay individually for their flight, we can then add on the cost of the hotel. So first, we're going to divide, and then we're going to add on the cost of the hotel per person. And that will give us the answer that we're looking for, the cost of the entire trip for each student, including that hotel cost. So $600 here and $8,400 there. So now I'm going to set up my long division. I'm going to put 6 as my divisor, 8,400 as my dividend, and I'm going to start to long divide. 6 goes into 8 once. 1 times 6 is 6. I subtract 8 minus 6 is 2. Bring down the 4. 6 goes into 24 4 times. 4 times 6 is 24. Subtract, get a 0. Now you can see that I am only going to be bringing down zeros. So at this point, everything is going to be zeros above as well then. 0 and 0, because if I went through the steps and brought down 0, 6 goes into 0, 0 times 6 is 0, and so on. We continue on. So we fill up and we can see that the cost of the flight per person was 1,400. Now I can take the 1,400 and add $600 for the hotel. And 4 plus 6 is 10, carry my 1. So I'm going to be at an even $2,000. So the question says, what is the cost of the entire trip for each student, including the cost of the hotel? We can make a short sentence. The total cost each is $2,000. Number 5, a theater in Edmonton holds 1,350 people. If the main floor has 35 rows of 30 seats each, and the balcony has 20 rows, there should be a comma, small h, how many seats must be in each row in the balcony? So what we have here is we have a whole bunch of seats, but we don't know how many in total we have. So what we've got to know is how much will be in each row in the balcony. So we have to focus on the balcony. So let's take a look at what we do know. We know the total number of people allowed there, and we know everything we need to know about the main floor. Main floor has 35 rows, 30 seats each. The balcony, they only tell us that it has 20 rows, so we're missing the seats. So what we have is every row of the main floor holding 30 seats. So if we have that repeated, every single one is the same, then we're going to need to multiply there. And what we can do is then get a total for the main floor and subtract it from the total of the whole theater, and that will help us to determine the seats of the balcony. So let's look at first steps. I'm going to set up my first plan, which is to multiply the 35 times the 30. I need to know how many seats are on that main floor. So I'm going to solve that over on the side. 35 times 30. I'm going to bring down that 0. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry my 1 up. And 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 more is 10. So there's 1,050 seats on the main floor. So the balcony is going to be quite a bit smaller. Well, let's see how many maximum seats there can be in the balcony through subtraction. So my second step is going to be 1,350 people, that's the maximum seats we have, minus the 1,050 seats. So we're going to take that 1,350 minus 1,050. 5 minus 5 is 0, 3 minus 0 is 3, and 1 minus 1 is nothing. So that's going to leave us with 300 seats. So we know we have a maximum of 300 seats, and we know we have 20 rows. In step 1, we multiplied to figure out the total seats. In step 2, we figured out the seats in the balcony. Step 3, instead of multiplying, we're going to have to divide to get back down to the seats in each row. So we're going to take the total number of seats in the balcony, 300, divided by the 20 rows. And that's going to give us how many seats are in each of those 20 rows. So we have some long division to do here. We're going to take 20 into 3, does not go. 20 into 30 goes once. 1 times 20 is 20. We subtract. 30 minus 20 is 10. And we bring down. And now we repeat. 20 into 100 goes 5 times. 5 times 20 is 100. So we have a 0 remainder, which is what we would expect considering that each and every row is going to be identical. So how many seats must be in each row in the balcony? 15. So we're going to write this in a sentence. The balcony rows have 15 seats. That was a lot of work and a lot of steps, but if we break it down little by little, we'll be successful in the end. So you can try the leftover word problems on your own, and if you need any help, you can always ask me in class or through email.